what an atmosphere that's getting.
Bishop again, Taylor. Oh, good shot. That was short and outside off stump. Bad delivery. Taylor onto it. He hit it right into the gap. Richie Benno mentioned this outfield nearly is. That could happen on a few occasions here. It's a new outfield. It'll take a year or so to settle down.
It may cause a change. This poor start by Bishop. Richie Richardson used Phil Simmons the other end in the first fight on. He whipped him off football.
Oh, there's the gone. Yes, he's got to be out caught behind. Oh, I don't believe this. The whole of the West Indies are up in the air. It seemed to me as if it really did. There was a huge noise. Now, if we can pick up perhaps a little bit of pad or something, I don't know, but everyone went up. The umpire down that end, that's umpire Hare, said not out.
I cannot believe that. Seemed to be a slow down the balls that went past the bat as well. That looked to be a fair edge to me. Not a lot of noise, but very confident appeal by the bowlers.
Oh, what a delivery. Mark Taylor in that area has got into a fair bit of trouble. We saw him get out. Oh, and again the bounce goes flying fast, and a no ball called again because the ball bouncing just a little bit too much. Now, that's 3 that he's bowled, and they've all been called by the square leg umpire, so they're all going over shoulder height. Batsman was quite surprised by it. There goes the arm, and umpire Darryl Hare.
He's noted about that. There's plenty of likeness pitch. That was short.
That's what frustrated Bishop kicks at the turf as that one goes flying away down to the boundary for 4. Well, that must have come off the meat of the bat. It's a long boundary down there. And Bishop showing his frustration out there by kicking the turf as the ball went flying away.
Great shot by Mark Taylor. Genuine pace from Bishop, but one gets the feeling that Ian Bishop will not bowl another over with this new ball. That Richie Richardson will make a change. Just cannot afford to blame.
Some will say they've really got him out once today. Oh, and that one flies away. That'll be 4. Into the fence he goes. Well, David Boone may have taken the approach that this is his lucky day. If you're going to cut hard. And boy, that was marvellous.
He's the first cutter. He's prepared to go over the top. David Boone's only small. It's very short he'll go over the top. Benjamin far too short. Boone with controlled stroke. It's always going to be 4. Over the top of slips.
That's up in the air and a chance. Very, very hard chance indeed. Carl Hooper in the gully. Jumped up to try and meet this ball above his head. Got both hands to it, but couldn't quite clutch it.
He only had a split second, Carl Hooper, and he did very well to get up that far off the ground. Boone hit it. I suppose if it's gone in that direction, it can't have been right off the meat of the bat, but it was pretty much that way. And it was going up on
a very useful economy rate. Well played by David Boone. Just adjusting there and guiding the ball down to the third man. It's the 50 partnership for Boone and Taylor.
That's a good effort from this pair. 91 balls faced. It seems a lot now.
Equal. There's trouble here for the Australians. No one at home for the West Indies, but he's hit middle stump. David Boone has not had a lot of luck in the limited over matches this summer, and his luck has run out again, as he is total and utter mix-up. Anderson Cummins didn't have a lot of support. He really had to hit the stumps, and he's hit the middle stump.
It's very difficult to really fathom what happened there. David Boone played it down by his feet. Taylor just kept on running without any response at all from David Boone, and he kept on running. Eventually, David Boone had to take off. Bad luck. 19, it's 1 for 54, Australia.
David Boone just forgot to respond.
I think David Boone probably thought this was his day today after being given not out very early and then the drop chance. But Mark Taylor, I am not too sure if Boone said no, but Mark Taylor just kept on running. Out by a long way.
I think I might have been tempted to stay where I was if I was them. That's in the air. It could be trouble here for Mark Taylor. Curtly Ambrose has a very good pair of hands. The frustration has built up to such a degree that Mark Taylor has tried to manufacture a shot. Unfortunately, he got it no further than the safe hands of Curtly Ambrose.
Well, on this occasion, the ball did go through at a normal pace. Similar length ball as the previous delivery, but this one bounced as it would normally bounced. Good pace. Mark Taylor not quite getting across enough to cover that shot. Ball was moving across his body. He departed 33 of 73 balls. Australia now.
Mark Taylor getting a bit over-ambitious, having got frustrated and bogged down. Curtly Ambrose doesn't make too many mistakes playing for the West Indies. Got a very good pair of hands, gets him in exactly the right position. Catches that ball just below the level of his eyes. Just says thank you very much indeed. Not a great shot from Mark Taylor, probably cramped for the shot by pace.
Big shout, and Dean Jones has been given by Cole Timmins. He seemed to be more interested in taking off for the run, Dean Jones. And he's got an edge to it. Junior Murray has taken a comfortable catch.
Dean Jones is trying to guide this ball down to third man, opens the face of the bat, gets contact all right, and Junior Murray knows that very easily. Dean Jones was convinced he was just about to get a run for it, and it took him a little time to realise that the nick was a fine one. The ball had only reached the keeper and hadn't actually run away to third man. It's another.
Ian Bishop has made a very good recovery after a poor start. He's now got his second victim in 2 overs.
It was a well-directed ball from Ian Bishop. Really, Dean Jones's mistake there was just trying to guide this ball too fine.
It's almost a rarity, a 2. As Richie Beno and Greg Chappell move into the commentary position.
There's trouble again. Mark Waugh's put himself under pressure and he's gone again. This is unbelievable. Mark Waugh wanted the single. Steve didn't respond. Gus Logie, who's been a great addition to the fielding side for the West Indies, has raced in, picked it up, and thrown the stumps down at the bowler's end.
You know, when we play these back in years to come, people are not going to believe it. By Timmins, and it's 4 for 7.
Been run out. His brother Steve.
This is one they'll both remember. Mark was on his way. Steve hadn't looked up, but does now. Now, Gus Logie, brilliant work. He's going the wrong way, throwing off balance, and very, very disappointing for Mark Waugh. 5 in 6 innings.
Mark obviously doesn't think any of the bowlers are worthy of taking his wicket. Unfortunately, Alan Border goes to the well once too often. Didn't do it quite as positively as he did on the first 2 deliveries. Carl Hooper changed the pace and the length on him, and Alan Border has got a very nearly a leading edge and a simple caught and bowl chance to Carl Hooper, and that's a body blow for Australia.
They're not playing with any confidence, the Australians, and that is a leading edge. On the comparison with that, the West Indies are playing with every bit of confidence they should be.
there, but they've got 5 fieldsmen saving 1. In the air and straight down the ground. Didn't quite middle it, but they'll come back for 2. It's good running by War that time. He got down, turned quickly. He was running to the danger end. Well, there's a definite... Now, there he's hit the stumps. That's a magnificent bit of fielding. Haynes from backward point. In fact, it was Hooper from backward point picking the ball up and hitting the stumps direct. This was a magnificent bit of work. Let's have another look at it.
I think Desmond Haynes would have been very proud if he did do it. But the younger man, Carl Hooper, coming in quickly, realizing Steve was out of his ground. Spot on. Well, both was suffering the same fate. It's now 6 for 130.
The umpire down that end, Cole Timmins.
Very good decision that. It's not very easy to see.
Put that away into the gap. And we're looking for 2 here. Back comes... That's good running. That was Matthews taking the initiative there. He was running to the danger end, and he's in. Worthwhile having a look at. In the air and dropped. Straight through his hands. Logie there coming in to his left, got 2 hands to it, but wasn't able to latch onto it. 6 for 126. In the air, and what a good catch. That long arm of Ambrose comes out, and what a good catch that was. Don't forget he's following through, had to gather himself, move left. And that's the end of Healy. Again, a little bit of a front edge there, I think. Try to turn the ball away on the leg side. And good catch this from Ambrose.
Ambrose could be excused for looking onto the onside for that ball. That's where Healy was trying to play it. But he's kept his eyes on it and caught it quite comfortably. It's now 7 for 1.
Donomaid's gone, caught behind. The perfect line from Curtly Ambrose. What a beautiful bowler. A tentative push by Donomaid, but the line was spot on.
It's just a faint edge, but that's all you need. Curtly Ambrose really is a magnificent bowler. He was the man responsible for turning the game the other night in Sydney. And on that occasion, just the slightest of leg cutters, just enough to clip the edge. Junior Murray quite happy to take those all night. It's 8 for 137.
Lara and Logie in the circle. That's gone, Dart short. Races through, they'll go for 4. That's the 4th boundary, the first since the 3rd over. 8 for 143. Straight to Logie. Good pair of hands. The 3rd wicket for Curtly Ambrose. And the West Indies on fire at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Big Matthews realising that he couldn't just hang around and, well, I guess he always was hoping to play out the overs, but feeling that a few boundaries were necessary. Disappointed there, I think, mainly because he felt he hit the ball pretty well, but he hit it straight to Gus Logie. That was the reason why he tossed the head back when he had a look at the big scoreboard replay. Australia 9 for 146. Beautiful shots early on. And you really just can't believe that they were slowed down as much by the West Indies.
Well, they've defended like Australia defended. Richardson's had men inside the circle. Bowled in, yorked him. Fine bowling by Carl Hooper. So the tail doesn't wag. Australia bowled out. Surprisingly here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground by a very informed West Indian attack. Craig McDermott probably looking to jam down on that Yorker as it It's over the top, and the top stump as it drips away. A very good bowling performance.
Stuck to their plans. They bowled well to their plans, fielded well, and the Australians, with a couple of mix-ups, have contributed with run-outs. But, well, Richie might applaud his team off the field there because they've done a very good job. I reckon the team that we saw out here last summer could well have fallen apart with the start that the Australians got away to. But this West Indies side, they're certainly a bunch of fighters, and it's attributed to them that they've improved their one-day play so much and so quickly.
So after 47.3 overs, Australia are bowled out for 147. Top score, Steve Waugh, 25. Correction, Mark Taylor, 33 or 73. So the West Indians will need 148 or 50 overs to win the second final in the series. We'll be back here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in just a moment with Richie Benaud.
Welcome back to the MC. Desmond Haynes will have to negotiate this first session, but they only have to negotiate. Good shot. The outfield is slow. They will run for. Well, that was a beautifully struck boundary, all run by Brian Lara.
Very sensible of Brian Lara. If the ball's up there to play his shots, he's been in very good form.
Beautiful, brilliant. What a magnificent piece of fielding. Haynes called for the signal. Lara was through. And then Haynes just turned around, I think we'll see on the replay, as Matthews' throw came whizzing in from behind square leg.
Well, I must admit that when Greg Matthews picked the ball up, I thought his best chance of a run-out was at the batting end. He was so rightly called, didn't think he was going to the danger end. He had a look over his shoulder and got the biggest fright of his life when he saw the ball coming. A bigger fright was there.
Boundary, but Matthews, the man who threw and broke the stumps, a wonderful piece of work. This is the way it happened.
Watch Desmond Haynes here. He was loafing and all of a sudden got a big fright. An even bigger fright when it hit the stumps. I think he should get an even bigger fright when he gets into the dressing room. There should be a boot waiting for him.
Well caught. Simmons gone. First ball. Dodemate's out swinger. He bowled it wide the first ball of the over. And then got another good outswinger to Phil Simmons. A first baller. 2 down. And a game on our hands here at the MCG.
Philip Simmons has been a bit out of sorts with the bat in recent weeks. It's a bit wide, swinging away from him. Mark Waugh takes a very, very good catch there. And Tony Dodemaide, do you think he's happy? And all the Australian supporters here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground sense that there is a match here. 2 for 8.
Welcome, Sydney viewers. Brian Lara has just crashed a ball from Tony Dodemaide straight down the ground here at the MCG. But the West Indies have lost 2 wickets in making those 18.
It could have been a disaster for the West Indies.
Good shot. The outfield is quite slow here at the MCG. It's understandable because it's only been re-turfed this summer. so he's done something to his knee. It's in the air. There's a fielder there. He has got it. Donomaid McDermott has picked up the wicket of Richie Richardson. Paul Rifle it is down at deep fine leg. And that is a great wicket for Australia.
Richie Richardson has the habit of playing the up and under hook shot. It works very well in the Caribbean where the grounds are very short, the boundaries are short. He's picked probably one of the longest boundaries in world cricket. Paul Rifle has a great pair of hands. And you reckon the crowd aren't delighted here at the MCG, the West in the driving seat.
There, as McDermott's bowling. Oh, dropped. Dean Jones going to his left hand. He's got the injured right thumb. I'm not sure that he could have got two hands to it, even if his hand wasn't injured.
Alan Borders almost playing dividends immediately. Just out of his reach. I think this will give you a better view of it, really. It was pretty wide. But if pick up and throw and hit on many occasions, better than did on that occasion.
Good shot, full shot, just a fraction short, Brian, onto the back foot. It's a long boundary, that's 90 metres out there. Always a danger of running it going for the fourth here. They're going to test out War, are they? They're coming back. The bowls receives the throw. That's 4 all run. I'm not sure why Steve Waugh ignored Alan Border there for the short throw.
Well, very, very tightly.
Matthews dives. This time it's through. Big effort. Running down towards the southern stand. They may take him on here. As Carl Hooper comes back, that's good running. 4 all run.
So I think he was a little optimistic going for that one. There are times when the fancy dive is not the order of the day. And you accept the fact that you're not going to get there and you have to move in.
Made some lovely strokes.
And that's good, sensible cricket. They've run sixes. All it needs is to accumulate these runs. If they can. And moving closer, Lara should get 2. Split the 2 men in the...
Blazing away down the ground at that slower delivery.
Ooh, and struck Brian Lara amidships. Now, that will be called a dead ball. While the batsman is on the ground in pain, the umpire is obliged to call dead ball. And the fielders may take no further action. Even at this stage, Brian Lara were to roll out of his crease, it would be A, very unsporting, and B, not out if the Australian fielders would try to take advantage. Shot. Nicely played by Carl Hooper. He's hit that very well indeed. High over square leg. Mark Ward dropping short. And Carl Hooper playing a superb ball shot. The shock of the blow immediately that took him. Runs there. Hasn't quite timed that probably. Paul Rifle is after it. And Lara's legs recovered sufficiently to take him to 3 more runs and past the 50 mark. He's played very well again, Brian Lara. Acknowledges the applause of the crowd and, of course, of his teammates. Who'll be very grateful to see him keep such a cool head to lead the way for the West Indies in their attempt to reach this target of 148. That's 51 runs off 90 balls. Is still playing. 4 runs again this time, Carl Hooper. Not quite hitting the ball as sweetly as in the previous over. It's still going to go for 4. Mark Waugh cannot afford to keep dropping short like this. Carl Hooper has sized up Mark Waugh. He knows exactly what's coming. He likes the pace of those bouncers, and they're just free runs for him.
If he's going to drop it short in that fashion, it needs to be a bit further outside off.
McDermott from the member stand end. A good shot by Brian Lara. Wasn't a bad delivery, wasn't overly short, but Brian Lara was onto that very quickly. He hit that about 20 yards in front of square leg.
Yes, it was well worth a try from Craig McDermott, realising that Australia badly need a wicket, particularly Lara out of the way. I think he's really steadied them.
Off the back of the bat, and he's on his way back into the pavilion now. Craig McDermott has made the breakthrough that Australia were looking for. They could have used it a few overs ago. Mark Waugh takes quite a comfortable catch in the wide slip position. Brian Lara just letting Carl Hooper know that he wants to make sure that they win the game. And Brian Lara heads back to the pavilion, a victim of Craig McDermott.
I've been the slower ball, I think, the one that McDermott bowls as an off-cutter. And Lara was through the shot too early. But he's done an excellent job for his team. Brian Lara out for 60, the West Indies.
30 style. Hasn't played much of a part in this season's competition. Carl Hooper's hit it in the air. There's a fieldsman out there. Can he get there? A desperate attempt. Tony Dottermaid knew that he just had to take a catch if he could. There was no point bailing out. Unfortunately, I think he got stuck on the launching pad.
Yes, the outfield's still fairly soft. It's firmed a lot since the Test match. But it's really hard to sprint quickly. And he wasn't able.
That's out, caught down the leg side. The Australians have still got a chance in this game. Paul Rifle comes back. His first ball after the drinks break down the leg side. Gus Logie gets one that bounces a little bit, flicks the gloves, and quite a comfortable catch to Ian Healy.
So we've seen a bit of uncertain bounce from this pitch right throughout the game. Gus Logie got one there that he was coming forward to, and it really did bounce quite a lot. Ian Healy made good ground to take that catch. So
doing their best to come back and join it again.
Out, dropped. Oh dear, that might be the difference. A good, genuine edge. Healy got a glove to it. It went down.
Well, fortune for Carl Hooper. Just managed to nick that ball in the most awkward place, almost directly between Healy and Mark Taylor. Healy diving a long way to his right. Taylor wouldn't have had quite so far to go to his left. Look, always get good houses down here.
215,000 now. Caught behind, it's all happening. 6 for 126.
Junior Murray will now sense the entire crowd very much against him. They're delighted that this little nick down the leg side has given Australia yet another sniff of an opportunity to try and overcome the West Indies here tonight. Just glancing down the leg side, Ian Healy very comfortably across. Gets there nicely, takes it in both hands. The umpire's hand goes up. Junior Murray leaves the field. And while the Australians celebrate, Murray has gone for one. West Indies are 6 for chances of winning this match.
At least one, they go back for 2. Bishop very slow turning. I think Carl Hooper was saying before, back up Ian. Bishop, like an old draft horse there.
That's 50 for Carl Hooper. That's a very useful knock for the West Indies. Hooper's continuing his good form of late here. And a very patient
Final ball, Hooper will look for single. He gets more than a single, that's a good shot. Well, at least get 3. Going out towards the wrong run boundary. And that will give Carl Hooper the strike. 5 up the over. A bit over for the West Indies. The catch goes to 4. It's going all the way. Valuable runs, maybe leg buys. There was some bat there. The call was leg buys.
All the more poignant with so few runs to play with. Ray McDermott just erring slightly in his line. Gave Ian Bishop the chance just to flick this or attempt to flick it away with a bat. Gets a bit of a heel on it. And it races away down to the long leg boundary. Really proves just how little margin there is to work with.
Bishop's bounce is half volley. Can you believe that? Healy doesn't dive this time. It goes through to Taylor on the half volley.
It's well taken by Mark Taylor, but again, makes absolutely no difference at all to Australia. Just on the half volley there, it might be a moral victory, but that's of no use at all. What McDermott needs is the proper edge carrying through, someone to catch it, and the same thing to happen again 3 times as well.
It's a long time to ground his bat as well. That's a good shot. That could be the winning runs down the ground. Fine on drive. Just 3.
Tantalisingly close for the West Indies. Carl Hooper, lovely on drive.
We won the Benson Hedges World Series. And there it is, they win it. That is a magnificent victory, 2-0 to the West Indies. With 4 wickets in hand, they beat Australia on the big Marvel cricket ground in front of 72,000 people. A fine knock by Carl Hooper. Great support from Brian Lara. And the West Indian bowlers at last backed up by their batsmen.
Well, Ian Bishop it was who finally scored the single that took West Indies to victory. His colleagues will now come out in the field to celebrate what is a very, very fine comeback for the West Indies in the context of this summer. They looked a side out of sorts at the start of the summer. They lost the test match here, as Michael Holding was saying, and a lot of people were prepared to write the West Indies off and say that their spirit had gone, a lot of key players had gone, and they were going to struggle to come back. Well, this is the best possible response. West Indies have taken these finals games 2-0. Australia have played valiantly. They fought very hard tonight to try and keep themselves in the game. In the end, it's a comfortable victory for the West Indies. I didn't know they had champagne in the West Indies, Bill, but they seem to be enjoying it now.
They certainly do, and it's well earned.